What's up, everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at this 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee L. This is an Altitude 4x4 finished in bright white. MSRP is around $54,000. So let's go ahead and pop the hood, see what is going to power the 3-row Jeep Grand Cherokee. So pop in the latch. So this spec has the V6. This is a 3.6 liter, 293 horsepower with 257 pound-feet of torque. Of course, it is paired to the 8-speed automatic, and it is a 4-wheel drive vehicle. This SUV can also tow about 6,200 pounds. So pretty capable vehicle, of course, for not only family, but utility as well. Now, being the Altitude, you're gonna see all the blacked out design. We get a nice set of blacked out LED headlights, and then the grille with those 7 vertical slots, traditional for a Jeep. Blacked out Jeep name as well, and then all black in the lower portion of the grille. You can see more gloss black down below, some trim over on this far right side. Overall, it's a good looking SUV. I think Jeep really did a good job on this new generation Grand Cherokee. Really not a bad angle. You can see some sharp lines throughout the hood, just fading towards the windshield. Really muscular design overall. And at the side, we get a prominent sharp body line throughout the whole side, and a nice set of 20-inch wheels. These are a cool 5-spoke, finished of course in gloss black. They fill out the fenders nicely, and you're gonna see more of this plastic black trim running throughout. Also makes its way through the whole side skirt area, some more contours throughout the doors. And you get Grand Cherokee with an American flag, and then gloss black on the side mirrors with an integrated turn signal. You can see body color on the door handles, and then all gloss black trim. You're gonna see a sunroof up on top, gloss black roof rails, and I particularly like how the upper portion cuts through the bodywork. Definitely gives it a unique look. Now, being the L, this is a little bit longer than the traditional Grand Cherokee. Normal one's not gonna have a 3-row. The L, of course, is gonna be that 3rd row, but proportions are still really good. They've really made the design fit both cars. In back, you can see how that trim piece makes its way all the way around and surrounds this rear glass. You get a 3rd brake light up on top, Jeep in the center blacked out, and a nice set of LED taillights. Once again, kind of have a smoked out, blacked out design to them, sunken into the bodywork. Got a few nice sharp body lines throughout the rear end, and then more of this plastic black trim. This will pop off for your trailer hitch, all of your parking sensors in here, and then we get the L and 4x4 on the back as well. Pretty good looking SUV for sure, really no complaints. Now if we take the key, go ahead and double tap, we can automatically pop open that rear liftgate. Now back here, I have the 3rd row down. So with the 2nd row up, you're able to see what kind of space you're gonna have. And with that 2nd row down, you're gonna see how much more space we're gonna get. Now we can grab this and open it up. There's a little bit of hidden storage space. We got a nice cubby on the left side, along with the right side. And then we can just grab these straps and pull them upwards for your 3rd row. We can also pop up these headrests, which is nice. They can fold down for better driver visibility. And now we can get an idea of the kind of storage space you're gonna get behind that 3rd row. And then back here, we have the button. We can just go ahead and tap that. It's gonna automatically close that rear liftgate. And then moving on to the 2nd row seat now. Interior is gonna be finished off in black. And you can see how this seat is gonna look fully completely down. And then we can easily grab it, lock it upwards. And if you grab this upper level and pull it, this will get this whole seat out of the way to where you can climb into the 3rd row seat. So in back, you're gonna see 2 seats back here. You do have some armrests and cup holders, and then a few plugs and even air vents. You also get a cool Grand Cherokee on that glass. So sitting back here at 5'11", honestly, plenty of headroom, really not all too bad. If we grab the seat, knee room and leg room is okay. It's not that bad in here. Of course, you have captain's chair, so you can extend your leg a little bit. But in a pinch for even an adult, really not a bad place to be. Seats are a little on the low side, so your legs are a little high. But again, for a 3rd row vehicle that isn't a Wagoneer, really not all too bad. Now you can lift this handle and move the seat, or there's actually enough space to just climb right through it. And then in the 2nd row, it's really a pretty nice SUV. So if we close the door now, we do have a lever that you can pull, slide these forwards and back, and we have a manual recline lever as well. And then sitting back here, again, pretty cool place to be, good armrest. We get air vents, a screen, temperature, and fan speed. Quite a few plugs down here with storage and cup holders, more storage, but plenty of legroom and headroom. Again, really not a bad 2nd row at all. So pretty functional family SUV. And there's even an air vent. Now let's go ahead and hop into the driver's seat, see what it's like taking control of this SUV. So we have the global black interior. You do get some cheap plastic on the door up on top. However, we get the nice synthetic leather material throughout the door panel, window controls, mirror controls, storage down below, and of course power seats. You can see the smooth leather with contrast stitching, and the nice perforated Alcantara material. So pretty cool design overall. And then if we go ahead and hop into the vehicle, of course those power controls, get yourself nice and comfortable, keeping your foot on the brake, we can go ahead and fire it up. So with everything on, you're gonna get a full digital screen now for that gauge cluster, and you can control it using the control panel on the left side, and we can easily scroll up and down and see a few things. Of course, that'll change a little bit. We can go back and forth into the driver's assistant, and then down to vehicle information. You can scroll left and right and see a ton of different vitals within this car. You can continue down to trip information, audio information, and then any messages and settings. Cruise controls on the right side. We have your distance pacing, Jeep logo, some nice silver trim with contrast stitching, pretty nice steering wheel as well. Buttons on the back side will also control your radio, and we have paddle shifters up on top. You can see the stalk on the right side for windshield wipers, turn signal on the left, and then headlight controls are down here. We have some more of this plastic material, some cool gray trim, one of your air vents, and then more of this plastic rubber material for the dash. Now you can also see more of that synthetic leather material, nice contrast design throughout the dashboard. Up on top, you're going to see the auto start stop, lane keeping. We also have your hazard control, and then controls for parking sensors and traction. Now moving to the infotainment screen, we have all of your climate controls that will come up pretty easily. You can adjust everything like temperature, heated seats and steering wheel, all of your different zones, and it's really nice that you can just toggle everything to easily configure it. We also have a home icon over here. You can configure the screen as well with whatever you'd like up on the center. We also have this one here for audio controls, going back into climate. We have more things for phone integration, and then a few items will pop up here. Rear view camera can easily pop up, and then I really like how you can tap this and pop down that third headrest just to get them out of your way, because they really will pop up in here, but with them down you have really good visibility. You also have apps as well, a few things will pop up, and then shortcuts up on the top here for some climate settings. So pretty nice integration for the screen. There's also physical climate controls over here. You can toggle this, you have fan speed in the center, pops up on the screen when you do anything, heated seats, steering wheel, and then all of your different zones and controls. Now we have all piano black in here, which of course you're going to show some fingerprints and dust, but overall pretty nice design. We get plugs down below, wireless charging, and of course a nice storage cubby, and then your gear selector, which is a rotary dial. In the center you're going to see two cup holders, more of this leather material, and you have two different compartments here with the two different levers. So pretty nice integration there, pretty large glove box. And then over here we have quite a lot of storage. One last look at the interior. Definitely a pretty nice place to be. The new Grand Cherokee definitely has come a long way to be pretty cool looking. We have a manual sunshade, tailgate release, all of your dome lights, roof controls, sunglass holder even, and then your mirror. With all that said, let's take this thing for a spin. Alright guys, so we are setting off now in the Grand Cherokee. I will say the V6, if you're flooring it a little bit, that was just half throttle, it does seem to use the whole engine, which can kind of make it feel like it's struggling a little bit. I think the 4xe, or if you can get the V8, I think those are a little bit better if you are planning to floor it a little bit. Normal driving seems like it has pretty good normal power. However, it'll definitely wind out the engine just a little bit. So as far as some normal things, visibility in it, you have a huge windshield, really easy to see out. The side mirrors are huge as well, same with the center, so you have a really good view around. Only thing I noticed, the mirrors themselves are kind of close to the bodywork to where you can't really see through the mirror, so slow speed, if you're making tight turns, it's kind of hard to see what's going on right down there. So I wouldn't mind if those were maybe poked out a little bit, give us a bigger gap right there. Overall though, not too bad. Over your right and left shoulder, pretty good as you would expect. And of course with the third row down, or headrest down at least, you know, you have a really good view. Now when you are taking some turns and everything, It's a pretty smooth driving car. It takes turns well, feels very confident to drive, doesn't feel like it's all over the place, crazy body roll or anything like that. It's got a good soft suspension that absorbs bumps, but also gives you a planted ride. The seats themselves are really comfortable too. A lot of good ways to adjust them and everything to honestly just feel pretty comfortable in this. Armrests are in a great place. This is just a pretty good family SUV. I could see just driving this hours and hours, you know, going on long trips, things like that, daily driving, commute, stuff like that. Really not going to be an issue. It seems pretty comfortable. Use of materials is pretty good. You know, there are some cheap plastics up here, which I wouldn't mind. A little bit nicer upper area for being $54,000. Wouldn't mind this also being leather to match this, even though it is synthetic leather. But I wouldn't mind just that section being a little nicer. Everything else looks and feels as you would expect. So I think overall it's a pretty good designed interior, good fit and finish, good use of materials and stuff like that. And the driving is really nice. You know, the brakes work, you have good stability in it. Of course, you have the towing and pretty decent off-road capabilities even for this particular spec, which isn't anything crazy. Of course, you can opt for an overland, have the adjustable suspension, drive modes, you know, all those other things. This one's basically just like a full-time all-wheel drive system where it's gonna engage it when needed. Hitting a bump now. Once again, very solid SUV. There's no loose ends, nothing like rattling or falling apart or anything. It feels like a pretty well-built, solid SUV. And I think it's just something you can drive effortlessly, and it doesn't feel all too big. Like I mentioned, being a 3-row vehicle, it's not a Wagoneer, which is a very big SUV. This is super manageable if you're coming from even a car or something. This can be something you can get used to super easily, and you just don't feel like you're in anything big. So it feels like a really well-rounded, pretty good family SUV. No real loose ends or anything. Huge spectrum of Grand Cherokees to fit your budget. And of course, you can get a little bit shorter version without that 3rd row. But normal driving, yeah, from a driver's perspective, definitely seems like a pretty nice to drive family SUV.